The Mesoan Siege Riders are the Astra Militarum regiments raised from the jungle death world of Mesoa 4, located in the Segmentum Obscurus. They are famed for their shock and awe tactics and for rejecting all forms of mechanized or armored units, instead utilizing the various megafauna that were augmented by the genitors of Meso Prime as their transports and artillery. They have a semi-primitive view on things and see the Emperor as the head of a god pantheon containing the Adeptus Astartes and Adeptus Mechanicus. The Mesoan Siege Riders' homeworld of Meso 4, having been classified as an ice death world prior, was found to contain semi-primitive humans that were living under the icy crust when a Mechanicus cruiser, fleeing the Forge world of Meso Prime from a chaos rebellion caused by a heretical magus, crash-landed, breaking the ice and into the jungle-covered caves below. The humans who found them brought the tech priests to an old but still functioning factorum-turned temple where an extremely old tech priest was supplying the Mesoans with near Astra Militarum grade weapons and armor in a way to keep in their good graces. After hiding out on Meso 4 for a few months, the tech priests were rescued when a relief force of multiple Cadian regiments, the Salamanders and the Iron Knights arrived. After securing the tech priests, 5,000 Mesoans requested to join the Cadians and the Space Marines in the reclamation of the Forge world. The Salamanders and Cadians gladly accepted despite hesitation from the Iron Knights. The primitives boarded the battleships and, to the surprise of the force, brought catapults and cannons carried by the native beasts of the jungle caverns. The battle group then landed on Meso Prime and a 5-month-long siege followed. The Mesoans took to firing their artillery at strategic locations and fighting alongside the Cadians in skirmishes throughout the planet. On the final day of the siege against the heretic Magus, the Iron Knights and Salamanders charged the opposing Factorum. The Mesoans, who couldn't resist the prospect of fighting alongside their deities, charged alongside them while riding the beasts they brought while the Cadians followed. The walls of the Factorum collapsed under the charge of the Ceridons and Bastionosauruses, paving the way for the Astartes and their allies. The Mesoans fought the Chaos Cultists with such holy savagery unmatched by other Militarum regiments. The Astartes beside them only proved to further their zeal, fighting with them all the way up to the main Factorum of the planet when suddenly Nurglite infections started to appear all around them and they were assaulted by lesser Nurgle demons and the heretic Magus now turned demon prince himself, Mesgol. Despite their losses and their injuries, the Mesoans, instead of retreating at the sight of demons, just shoved cloth into their mouths and fought on despite the blood loss and disease. The Beast Riders charged the Demon Prince and pinned him under their combined weight, allowing the foul being to be immolated and executed before its soul returned to the warp. The Iron Knights, being suspicious about potential corruption, prepared to execute the remaining 1,400 Mesoans, but they were saved from death by the Salamanders and Cadians vouching for them. Despite the Forge world being decimated by corruption, multiple Factorums still remained operational and the workforce that remained loyal were returned to their duties. The new Magus, as an act of gratitude for reclaiming the Forge world, set to produce better weapons and armor for the Mesoans and augmented the beasts that they would bring to them. The remaining Mesoans returned to their homeworld as heroes and, after requesting training from the Cadians and establishing a blood debt to them, became the first ever regiment to be raised from Meso 4, the first Mesoan Siege Riders artillery. They then departed from the system to fight alongside the Cadians to wherever they could go. Ever since then, Meso 4 has raised around 83 regiments that fought through multiple battles, including the Macarius Crusade, multiple Black Crusades, and even the 13th, where they lost a staggering 5 whole regiments in defense of the Fortress world. The Mesoans would then fight with an extremely renewed vigor, and all available regiments joined up with the remaining Cadians in battlefields across the Milky Way. They would also join in Robuta Gilliman's Indomitus Crusade and defend the world of Jutasia III from Nurgle forces, where they would fight the Demon Prince Mesgol and win once again. But the rejection of mechanized units put them at odds with Imperial commanders. These grumblings are soon silenced and replaced with an awe when they witness the destruction the Mesoans can wreak with their highly mobile units. Their variation of the Imperial Creed has also put them at odds numerous times against the Adeptus Ministorum, nearly coming to destructive blows several times against sororitas, but each time they proved that their vehement faith in the Emperor stayed true. Their regimental uniform is a testament to their alliance with the Cadian shock troops and the Adeptus Mechanicus of Meso Prime, with red and green tattoos and decorations along with leather clothes worn underneath their flak armor. High-ranking units will also proudly display trophies of animals and enemies on their uniform, though this has been viewed with disdain from fellow officers of other groups. The Blood Debt is a peculiar tradition that the Mesoans have. It is stated that once a blood debt has been established, Mesoans will be with the people they owe a blood debt to through thick and thin, even if the outcome would be their own death. It is seen evidently with their staunch loyalty to the Cadians and in the aftermath of the 13th Black Crusade. The standard tanks that most Astra Militarum regiments use are replaced with Bastionosaurs and Ceridons that have back-mounted chassis of the vehicles, complete with their own crew and weapons. The Rough Raider regiments that Meso 4 raised also forgo the use of horses and instead use Silaraptors that are much faster and sleeker than equines. But the core of their regiments are the eminent Titans, towering reptiles that are used as artillery carriers, also serve as mobile command centers for their officers.